In high school class 1A, our MC Takuya isn't known for his charm or athletic skills, but for something far more niche, his deep obsession with anime made for girls. Today, he's practically glowing with pride, holding a limited edition Kira Manaracer he brought just to admire during breaks. While he's mid-rant about how rare it is, she suddenly snatches it with a playful grin and casually asks to borrow it. Takuya freezes, his heart skipping a beat. Wait, that's... He stammers, panic creeping into his voice. She just blinks, her smile unfazed, and promises, "I'll give it back." His voice cracks as he tries to insist. It's precious. Girls have always been his weak spot, and Eiji's wild, unpredictable energy completely throws him off. Even if she isn't exactly his type, she often hangs around Ana, a graceful beauty admired by nearly everyone. But again, not really his type either. Still turning the eraser over in her hands, Ichi tilts her head and, with full confidence, blurts out, "Oh, this is a Pokemon, right?" Takuya instantly jumps in to correct her. No, it's Kiraman, from the Corelli arc, with the green jewel that first appears in Chapter 4. Then, without even glancing up from what she's doing, Amon calmly replies, "Actually, it shows up in Episode 2. In that moment, it feels like Takuya's soul nearly leaves his body. She knew. Ichi, baffled, asks, "Wait, how do you know that?" Amain stands up, the eraser still in her hand, and says casually, "My sister's a big Kuraman fan." Staring at her, Takuya can't help but wonder, could Amain be an otaku too? He quickly hides behind a book, terrified of being found out. But that small spark of hope pushes him. After class, he decides to follow her. He calls out to her, but Amain suddenly spins around, slams him against the wall and snaps, "Stop following me." Flustered, Takuya blurts out, I just meant Kirin." She quickly insists, "It's my sister who watches it, not me." Then storms off, though she tosses in a brief, almost awkward, "Sorry," as she leaves. Under his breath, Takuya mutters, "Didn't think someone like her would care about a Kiraman keychain anyway." She stops mid-step. Slowly, she turns back, walks up to him, and snatches the keychain from his hand. Her eyes widen as she gasps, This is the Manga Volume 1 bonus." Her whole face lights up. "I went to 3 different stores and only ever found the regular versions." Takuya chuckles, admitting, "Yeah, it took a lot of effort to get this." Watching Amain's face light up, he can't help but think, she looks excited, adorably so. She softly mutters about how nice and firm it feels, then sighs, mentioning how disappointed her sister had been. He nods, admitting he had to, and then offers her the spare. Her smile grows even wider as she slips it into her pocket. "My sister is going to be thrilled," she says. Charmed by that smile, Takuya tells her, "I'll bring more tomorrow." And in that moment, he decides, it doesn't matter anymore whether she's in Motaku or not. Ichigo has a knack for making friends with ease. As usual, she glances back at Takuya and casually asks, "Hey, are you on Instagram?" He stiffens, caught off guard, and wonders why it even matters. She waves it off with a shrug. "No reason. You just seem like the kind of guy who'd post cool stuff." Reluctantly, Takuya admits, "Yeah, I've got a private account, just for fun." Inside, though, he's already spiraling. It's nothing but Carman merch shots and his own doodles. Before he can even react, Ichigo snatches his phone and opens the app. He nearly chokes as she scrolls through, a laugh slipping out while she takes in the endless flood of Carman content. Panic surges through Takuya. In his mind, he can already see classmates sneering, mocking both his hobby and his art. But instead, Ichigo's eyes light up. She points at one of his sketches and says, "This is both adorable and badass." Caught off guard, she looks at him with genuine surprise. "Wait, you really drew this? It looks almost professional." Embarrassed, Takuya mumbles, "You don't think it's weird?" Ichigo frowns slightly. "Weird? No, it's the opposite. It's impressive how passionate you are. And that kind of passion deserves respect." Her words hit him like a sudden crack of light cutting through the dark. He remembers. She said something like this to him before. Holding out the phone again, Ichigo says, "Solo posts are boring. We should start sharing stuff together." Without a hint of hesitation, she snaps a photo, uploads it, and hands the phone back. Takuya just stares in shock, his mouth hanging open, then immediately reaches for the phone, ready to delete it. But Ichigo warns him, "Don't even think about it. I'll be checking." His finger hovers over the screen, then drops. Watching her smile, Takuya realizes he might not have gained a new follower, but he's found something far more meaningful. Later that night, curled up in bed, he cues up episode 7 of Kira Ramen, a show meant for little girls, yet one that calls to him every single time. This episode, Why the Tears, focuses on Pachi, the sharp-tongued rival. Usually unlikable, but tonight, his scars are revealed. A troubled past, a guarded heart, and a harsh kind of love hidden behind cruelty. Then comes the devastating blow. Pachi sacrifices himself for Sachiko, a moment that had been foreshadowed all along. The impact hits Takuya hard, overwhelming him completely. He cries so intensely that he actually passes out for an entire day. When he finally wakes, there's still a heavy ache in his chest. An ache that's begging to be shared with someone. But with who? No one else watches Kira Ramen. And it's not something Takuya can just casually bring up. Still, as he walks into class the next morning, one quiet hope lingers in his mind. Maybe she watched it too. The moment he steps inside, he sees Ichigo at her desk and freezes. Something's different. Her usual calm demeanor feels heavier today. Her eyes are faintly red, with the slightest trace of tear streaks. And that distant, faraway look on her face says everything. She felt it too. Around them, a few boys whisper and nudge each other. One of them comments, "She looks like someone in love," like a scene straight out of a drama. That snaps Takuya back to reality. There could be countless reasons for her tears. Maybe he's just imagining things. Ichi leans in, a frown creasing her face, and asks, "Are you okay?" Amain gives a small shrug with a weak smile. "It's nothing. Just a fight with my sister." Takuya's eye twitches. "Just that?" he asks, then nods, adding, "Yeah. Sibling fights can be rough." Recalling her own brothers, Ichi listens quietly. As an only child, Takuya had always assumed the whole sister thing was just a cover for her Kiraman sessions. But maybe it wasn't. Nearby, a couple of boys complain about their game freezing, muttering that the devs really need to fix it. At that moment, Amain suddenly jumps and blurts out, "Pachi!" startling the entire room. The boys blink at her, surprised. "Wait, you play? Want us to add you?" She quickly waves her hands, dismissing the idea. No. I just thought you were talking about something else." But our Otaku sees it, that reaction wasn't about the game. It was about Pachi. Her surprise was way too genuine. This isn't just about a sister. And in that moment, Takuya feels certain she might actually be an Otaku. Later, while watching the newest Kiraman episode featuring Michi, the sparkling idol master, he freezes mid-bite. Her voice, her glow, it hits him. Doesn't that remind him of Ichi? The next morning, Ichi bursts into class, practically radiating light. Her friends immediately rush over, chattering excitedly about their weekends. One of them gushes, "I went to Starbucks with Takumi." Ichi laughs, teasing, "Oh, you mean the guy I was live streaming with?" The group bursts into laughter, a warm energy crackling around Ichi. Takuya sits back quietly, a faint scowl tugging at his face. How could he ever say it? That she reminds him of Michi from Kiraman. That this bubbly, popular girl somehow makes him think of a cartoon idol. Impossible. Still, the thought lingers, stubborn and clear, because she really does. Maybe she's seen the commercial, or maybe some Manus mentioned her before. After school, as Takuya packs his bag, he realizes he couldn't stop looking at Ichi all day. Suddenly, Ichi pops up beside Takuya, a playful grin on her face as she accuses him of staring. He panics, whipping his head away and stammering an apology, insisting it's nothing weird. But she isn't letting him off the hook. She grabs his uniform, smirking, and demands an explanation. Her teasing hits its mark, and he finally admits she reminds him of Michi. Without missing a beat, she taps on her phone, pulls up a picture, and arches an eyebrow. So that's it. He fumbles, feeling like a total creep for comparing her to an anime girl, but quickly insists that Michi is more than just that. She's bright, kind, and always lifting people up. She pauses for a moment, then says, far too casually, that maybe she'll stick by Takuya's side for a while, holding up Michi's photo like it's some kind of pact. Flustered, he covers his face, his heart pounding. She's ridiculous, but impossibly cute. Just as his cheeks are still burning, Amon appears. Her voice is flat as she asks if that was supposed to be Michi. Then, with a cold edge, She adds that she'd rather he not do that again. Before the tension can settle, a group of boys strolls up to both girls, wearing easy, confident grins as they invite them to karaoke. Ichi laughs, teasing that they're already addicted to karaoke since they just went yesterday. Meanwhile, Amen gives off that cool, untouchable saddest queen vibe, something that, somehow, only pulls them in even more. Ichi agrees, saying she has this way of making people feel like she's known them forever. One of the boys leans in, whispering that she's single, then jokes about taking his shot. From a distance, Takuya watches, quietly thinking about how far apart their worlds feel, like they exist in completely different realities. But Takuya brushes it off. Today's the day the Karaman random figure releases its rare drop, one per person. That's where his heart is set. When he arrives at the shop, he's relieved to find it quiet, though the emptiness stings just a little. As he's wondering which figure he'll get, he spots both girls already there. Amon reacts instantly, blurting out that it's not what it looks like. He blinks, unsure what she's even talking about, and she quickly scrambles to explain. It's for her little sister. Ichijai grins, saying maybe this isn't just a coincidence. Maybe he's not so different after all. He laughs it off, but his eyes land on the figure in Amon's hands. She's holding a come on one. He asks if they weren't supposed to be heading to karaoke. Amon explains it turned into more of a hookup hangout, so she bailed. Ichijai chimes in, saying she followed because watching Amon walk off like a giddy gremlin just seemed way more fun. Watching them, Takuya wonders if maybe they're not into all that dating stuff either. Maybe Amon really meant it when she said he's a true fan. He thinks about asking if they should team up to boost their chances, but he hesitates. Instead, he turns away, telling himself their worlds just don't overlap. He decides he'll just come back later. But before he can take a step, both girls grab onto the strap of his bag, pulling him back. Hey, Otaku, they call out in unison. You came for the figure, right? Let's get one together. Amon chimes in, suggesting that if he pulls Vamp the Great, they should trade. Then, almost too quickly, she corrects herself, saying it's actually her little sister's favorite. Something about that slip makes him stop for a second. Maybe, just maybe, some jousts are actually kind to Otaku. Later, the three of them make their purchases. Minene's face lights up with pure joy. She's pulled Vamp Sama. Ichijai steps in and gasps, eyes widening. That's the secret figure. Minene just shrugs with an awkward smile, saying she thinks it's a good one. The next day in class, just like always, the two girls sit in front of Otaku. Ichijai is scrolling through her phone, her face lit up with excitement. She leans over to nudge Aminet, announcing there's a brand new update to the Makini Semp story. Then, almost as if it's no big deal, she casually drops, "Oh, and the basketball captain confessed to me." Amani nods, confirming it really was him, and that she turned him down. Ichijai's eyes go wide in shock, gasping as she reminds her just how popular he is, even dubbing her the unconquerable queen. But Amani just shrugs, her tone calm and unbothered. He's not someone I really know, she says simply. Listening from behind, Takuya can't help but feel that her world is miles apart from his own. Maybe the thought of Amani being a secret otaku was nothing more than wishful thinking. Then someone asks her, "What kind of guy do you like?" Amani pauses for a moment, then answers with a small smile. "Someone slim, pale, blonde, and who can really pull off wearing black." Takuya freezes. That's Vamp the Great, the elegant Karaman. Ichijai narrows her eyes, trying to guess. K-pop? Or maybe Hollywood? For a moment, Takuya actually wonders the same. Then Amani, completely deadpan, adds, "He should be weak to sunlight." Takuya's heart skips a beat. That's it, there's no doubt. It is Vamp. Suddenly, Amani appears right behind Takuya, grabbing his collar and narrowing her eyes. "It's not what you're thinking," she says firmly. Takuya flinches. "I didn't say anything." He braces himself, expecting her usual, "It's my sister's thing" excuse. But instead, he leans in slightly and quietly asks, "So, she doesn't like Vamp, right?" Her eyes glint as Amani smirks, calling Takuya out for asking something he already knows, and for making it sound ridiculously cheesy. From the side, Ichijai grins far too smugly, which only makes Amani snap, "Stop smiling like that." As he watches the two of them bicker, Takuya can't shake the thought. Maybe she really isn't an otaku after all. Next period, Amani, as always empty-handed, turns to Takuya with a dramatically serious face and asks for a ruler. He raises an eyebrow, telling her she could have just asked normally. Instead, she stands up like she's performing on stage, declaring, "This class is full of guys ready to offer me their supplies, so you should feel honored." He just stares, completely baffled. Seriously, what is going on with Amani? A few days later, the tables turn. Takuya forgets his English textbook, of all days, during a period with the school's strictest teacher. Class has already started, and raising his hand now? Yeah, that would be pure social suicide. Desperate not to draw any attention, Takuya quietly slides his math book onto the desk, praying the teacher won't notice. But then Ichijai turns to him, casually asking for his red pen, only for her eyes to land on the math cover instead. His heart sinks. She's seen it, and knowing her, she's absolutely going to blow his cover. And of course she does. Ichijai shoots up from her seat, holding the math book high like it's a victory flag, loudly declaring how Takuya is trying to outsmart the teacher with a fake. He feels his soul leave his body. But then, instead of actually snitching, she casually adds that she forgot her textbook too. The teacher cuts her off sharply, ordering her to go share with someone. Half the boys in class practically jump out of their seats, eager for the chance. But Ichijai just waves them off and saunters straight to Takuya's desk. "I'll sit with him," she says, sliding into the seat beside him. He's left completely speechless. She leans in with a smirk, her voice low and teasing, whispering about how bold it was to use a math book as cover. He's just about to ask why she bothered to bail him out, when his eyes land on the English textbook tucked neatly under Ichijai's arm. She had it the whole time. She knew. She saved him on purpose. With a playful wink, Ichijai says it's her way of thanking him for all the times he lent her stuff. His ears heat up instantly. Then, with that same mischievous smirk, she snatches the red pen from his desk and tells him to turn around and face her properly while she says it. Fast forward to Sunday, he heads to the next town, claiming it's for shopping. But the truth? He's there for the Kirin Hero Show, a rare event to pop up anywhere near him. When he finally reaches the rooftop plaza, he's met with a surprise. The place is almost completely empty. The nearly empty plaza stirs mixed feelings in MC. On one hand, he wishes Carman had more fans, deserved the spotlight, the cheers, the love. But on the other, there's a quiet comfort in it being a hidden treasure, cherished only by the few who truly get it. He smirks to himself. Yep, those are some classic Pikataku thoughts. But since MC is already here, he goes straight for the front row, determined to soak in every second of the show. As he takes his seat, he turns to the girl beside him and asks politely, "Is this seat taken?" Her reply is short, almost clipped, her face hidden beneath a cap and mask. He studies her for a moment, suspicion flickering in his eyes, nearly blurting out if she's actually a guy. Before he can, she stiffly answers in a guarded tone, brushing off the thought entirely. Smirking, he leans back and proposes a deal. "If either of us pulls the other's favorite, we swap." The girl slowly pulls down her mask and lifts her cap, revealing Amon. Her face brightens as she agrees to the deal, adding with a playful glint, "Especially if I get Vamp, I'll have to hand it over." MC notices she's dropped the act entirely now. Still, Amon quickly explains she's only here because her sister caught a cold. Nothing more. Inside, the MC can't help but laugh. She's really getting way too good at this. Suddenly, the host's voice booms, announcing the arrival of Tom Sama and Namazu, and his excitement skyrockets. He leaps to his feet, only to freeze when he notices Amon watching him. Flustered, he mumbles an apology, but she calmly points out it's obvious they're his favorite. Still embarrassed, he tries to brush it off, saying the costume is just too intense, then quickly praises her for keeping such a cool attitude. Aminet smirks, saying she's enjoying the show, but has no intention of geeking out, unlike a certain someone sitting right beside her. Then the host drops the bombshell, introducing the surprise guest, Vamp the Great. In an instant, Aminet explodes with pure joy, screaming so loud it startles the MC. As Vamp strikes a dramatic pose, the announcer calls out the overexcited fan in the front row. Flushed with embarrassment, Aminet ducks her head, muttering that she didn't hate it. The MC watches, amused, as she recovers from the moment in record time. They dive into the show together, completely locked in. Later, near the school's vending machine, the MC is grumbling about the heat when Chi suddenly storms in, scolding him like he's committed some serious crime. He protests, saying he's just grabbing a drink, but she shoots him a sharp look and declares the vending machine a total scam. For half the price, she points out, he could get 2 colas from the discount store inside. Before he can even respond, Chi grabs his wrist and drags him away with the determination of a mom who refuses to be ignored. Once inside, total chaos breaks loose. Chi starts tossing random clothes at the MC, snapping ridiculous pictures like it's a photo shoot gone wild. Then, without realizing, she leads him straight into the women's underwear section, sending him into a full-blown panic as he scrambles to cover his eyes. After the whirlwind, they finally grab a cola each for 150 yen. Chi flashes a smug grin, celebrating their bargain victory, while the MC just stands there, stunned, slowly realizing she somehow made him pay for both without even trying. Just then, Chi's phone buzzes. She picks it up effortlessly, telling someone named Mayu that she's heading to karaoke. The MC blinks, the pieces clicking together. So she had been waiting for someone else all along. Still, the MC can't shake the feeling that today had suspiciously felt like a date. He pushes the thought aside, scolding himself not to overthink it. Just 2 classmates killing time, that's all. As Chi waves goodbye, she tosses a playful wink, teasing him to go on another date sometime and thanking him for the cola. Dazed but grinning, the MC clenches his fist and mutters under his breath. Today had been a date, after all. The cola he sips afterward surprises him, not because of the chill, but at how impossibly sweet it tastes. The next day, Ichijai reenacts a scene from Caraman, complete with dramatic sound effects. Pop Gapu watches, thoroughly amused. Suddenly, Amon joins in, casually noting they're talking about episode 4. The MC notices how effortlessly she slips into these chats, like she's always been part of them. Kieran might be the only thread connecting them, but sharing something you love, that's pure happiness. Ichijai asks how many episodes there are now. Amon replies, 14, adding that Volume 2 of the Blu-ray is dropping soon. Amon also mentions that Volume 1 comes with a bonus, Episode 0. Ichijai lights up, eyes sparkling, saying she's super curious. Takuya offers to lend his Blu-ray, confessing he actually owns 2 copies. Eiji pipes up, suggesting they stop by his house after school. Takuya nods almost instinctively, but then freezes a second later, realizing what that might imply. Wait, his house? Takuya blurts out the thought, eyes wide in shock. Amon raises an eyebrow, teasing that even if it's Otek-Khan's place, going to a guy's house might be a bit much. Chichi laughs, pointing out that Amon clearly isn't into boys anyway. Wrapping an arm around Takuya's shoulder, she grins, teasing that he's so obsessed with Kiraman there's 0 chance he'd do anything sketchy. Flustered, Takuya insists he wouldn't do anything like that, muttering under his breath about what that even means. Trying to deflect, he adds that there's no real reason Amon and Chichi shouldn't come. His parents are home, the place is a mess, and besides, he's not joining some random guy, so what's the point of this discussion anyway? Ichijai leans in dramatically, gasping, as if she just uncovered a secret. Could Takuya, the notorious otaku, actually be a real boy under all that? Panicking, he blurts out, "It's not like that. The only thing I'm hiding is some Karaman drawings I made myself." Amon gives him a thumbs up and announces, "All right, we're going." He stiffens as Amon leans over his desk, asking why she never knew he could draw Kiraman. She wants him to show her, well, technically for her little sister who's been practicing and even requests he draw vamp. Takuya's mind spins way too fast. Ichijai declares it decided. They're heading to his place. Panicking, he pleads, "Can you just listen for once?" Outside Takuya's bedroom door, Ichijai leans in, concern in her eyes. She asks if he's okay and gently offers to let him go in first, to hide anything he doesn't want them to see. He straightens, swallows his nerves, and mutters, "I'll be fine, probably." Soon, Takuya finds himself sitting on the floor of his room with Ichijai and Amain. Ichijai looks around, impressed at how surprisingly neat and charming his space is, while sneaking glances at his collection with genuine interest. Amain lounges casually beside her, nonchalantly asking to see the Kiraman drawings he mentioned. He closes his eyes, trying to process it. 2 amazing girls are sitting in his room. What is even happening right now? Inside Tuya's room, the 2 girls wander over to his shelf, eyes sparkling as they take in his collection. Ichijai points to a figurine, teasing that he must really treasure that one. Meanwhile, Amain suddenly gasps, spotting an Earth Summon limited edition prize. She groans dramatically, confessing she tried so many times to win it but failed every single attempt. Meanwhile, Tuya can barely process the surreal situation. his very first time ever hosting anyone in his room. And somehow it's not just one, but two girls sitting there. Emotionally, he's not even sure if he'll make it out alive. Then, Ichijai crouches down to check the bottom shelf and casually asks about his graduation album. Caught off guard, Tuya lets out an awkward laugh, muttering that she's really making herself at home. But deep down, his heart feels like it's about to explode. Feeling the panic rising, Tuya decides it's time to get things moving. He pulls out a Blu-ray and awkwardly suggests they take the discs and enjoy them back at their own place. But just as he reaches for one, Ichijai suddenly slips up behind him, draping her arms over his shoulders. She locks her hand around his, leaning close with a playful smile, and says she'd much rather watch it with him. A deep flush creeps up Tuya's neck. This is way too much heat packed into one room. Amain cuts in with a dry remark, pointing out that Ichijai's antics are bordering on harassment. But Ichijai just shrugs it off without the slightest hint of guilt. Trying to pull the situation back under control, Tuya warns them that watching the show with him might be a bad idea, since he tends to get a little too into it. But before he can finish, Ichijai jumps in, accusing him of spinning glow sticks and cheering like it's a full-on live concert. Mortified, Tuya quickly insists it's not that extreme, at least not anymore. But then he notices the way Amain suddenly lowers her gaze, and it tugs at him in a way he can't ignore. Out loud, he stumbles through a clumsy defense, blurting that even if someone did enjoy it like that, it wouldn't be weird at all. Amain responds softly, explaining that it's not really her. It's actually her little sister who keeps begging her to try all that. When Ichijai presses further, asking what exactly they do together, Amain admits, they usually make handmade fans and turn off all the lights. Tuya stares in disbelief, thinking, she's seriously that committed. Ichijai's eyes light up as she compares it to a Johnny's concert, blurting out that she wants to try both, while glancing back and forth between them. Amain raises an eyebrow and warns that she tends to get loud. Loud enough, in fact, that people might mistake her for a full-blown otaku. Ichijai only smirks, saying she's excited to witness that side of her. Meanwhile, Tuya adds that even if it comes to that, they'll still be giving plenty of real-time commentary on the beauty of every scene, the emotional impact, and the quality of the animation as it plays. She teases that Tuya is already doing all of that, which immediately earns a sharp glare from Amain. The tension only lasts a moment, though, before the three of them settle down in front of the screen. Armed with a prompt card and even a glow stick in hand, Tuya pumps his fist high and shouts for them to begin. Cheering loudly, Tuya exclaims, "That's the spirit!" As the episode begins to play, he can't hold back, shouting about how amazing it is, completely swept up in the excitement. What he doesn't realize until much later, though, is that this isn't just his first time hosting guests. He's actually sitting shoulder to shoulder with Amain and Ichijai, the three of them surrounded by near darkness. Their emotions rise and fall with every scene. Ichijai enjoys herself in her own way, but Tuya and Amain are practically sobbing, completely drawn into the story. Then, when a heavy and serious moment suddenly shifts in tone, Ichijai bursts into laughter, while the other two sit frozen, stunned by the change. As the episode wraps up, Tuya thinks to himself, just talking with someone about Kaiserman is already fun. But diving in this deep, full otaku style, that's on a whole different level. Suddenly, Amain tugs at his shirt, her eyes wide as she points at the screen. She excitedly whispers about Patchy's hidden appearance, asking if he caught the reflection in the girl's device. Tuya shouts back in agreement, but inside, he's frozen stiff. Amain is touching him. By now, Tuya is used to Ichijai's casual, friendly contact, but Amain is different. She's usually distant, rarely even speaking closely with boys, let alone touching one. His mind short-circuits. It's too close, too dark, too overwhelming, and somehow it feels too good. Her presence throws off his focus completely. He can't even follow the show anymore. When he finally dares to glance her way, he realizes she's already looking right at him. Their faces are just inches apart. Amain asks if he's even paying attention, then quickly turns away, apologizing for leaning in too close. Tuya stammers that it's his fault, right as Achi snaps a photo of them. Amain jumps up, yelling why she's taking pictures. Achi just grins, swearing she won't show anyone, while proudly claiming it as her ultra-rare Amain shot. Tuya, meanwhile, is silently panicking, wondering how he'll ever work up the courage to ask her for a copy. Stretching lazily, Ichijai announces it's break time and pulls open the curtain. That's when he notices the girl lying comfortably on his bed. As sunlight pours in, She casually declares she's uploading the photo to Instagram, and actually starts doing it. Amain shoots Ishi a sharp glare, making her laugh nervously as she insists it was just a joke, calling Amain's expression terrifying. Quickly changing the subject, Ichijai brings up Instagram again, teasing Amain to check out Otaku's account. She agrees eagerly, asking if she can see it for herself. He panics, avoiding her eyes, and mutters that it's nothing special. But she shakes her head, insisting, every Kaiman fan art is rare and valuable. Realizing he'd probably feel the same way if their roles were reversed, he hesitates before slowly opening his account. Nervously, he warns her not to be disappointed. She just smiles and says softly, after everything between us, why would I be? As Amain scrolls through his account, her expression changes ever so slightly, immediately catching Ichijai's attention. He stiffens, worried she might be unimpressed. But then, out of nowhere, she stands up and asks if his account name is Ataki Ocean. His heart skips a beat. From behind, Chiji jumps in, surprised, asking if he's secretly some kind of famous creator. Ichijai panics and quickly denies it, insisting it's just a small hobby account with barely 50 followers. Then, flustered, he asks Amain how she even knows that name. Amain replies shyly, admitting that she's actually one of those followers. Ichijai is stunned, struck by how cute she looks as she says it. She then confesses that every night before bed, she browses through fan art with her account set to private, always searching for anything related to Kiriman. Overwhelmed but grateful, Ichijai thanks Amain, his cheeks burning red. Chiji smirks, teasing that it looks like the two are sharing some secret romance. Both instantly deny it in flustered panic, but by now, it's clear that Amain is definitely an otaku. By the end of it all, Ichijai finds himself giving her a drawing lesson. As he sketches on his tablet, Amain leans in close, carefully taking notes and admiring the pad, making him swallow hard. She asks if she can try drawing too, and without hesitation, he hands it over. She smiles, declaring that with this, she's officially a contributor now. Ichijai watches her closely, amazed at how openly she's embracing her love for otaku culture. Turning toward Eiji, he starts to apologize for neglecting her, only to realize she's already sprawled out across the bed. And for a moment his mind drifts somewhere dangerous. The way she's lying there feels far too suggestive. He quickly snaps himself out of it, mentally scolding his own thoughts. With a sigh, he admits he hasn't exactly been the most attentive host. She brushes it off, saying she's long since gotten used to it, especially being around Amain, who always seems to draw attention wherever she goes. Even when they're together, people still stumble over themselves just to talk to her. Amain fires back, pointing out that it works both ways. Guys are constantly trying to hit on Ichijai as well. Ichijai just giggles, joking that they're simply too popular for their own good. The MC watches their playful banter, unable to shake the thought of just how different their world is from his. These two aren't just classmates, they're practically school celebrities. And the fact that they're sitting here in his own room feels almost unreal. Chiji suddenly throws out a question, asking which of them he prefers. The MC freezes, eyes wide in shock. Thinking fast, he whips out his Sachiko DVD and boldly declares his undying loyalty to her instead. Ichijai bursts into laughter, calling it a classic move. But the truth is, the MC couldn't possibly choose between them anyway. Eventually, the visit winds down, and the girls get ready to leave, both of them smiling brightly. Amain thanks him warmly for the drawing lesson and suggests they should definitely do it again sometime. He manages to thank them in return, admitting that this was the very first time he's ever had so much fun, or even had friends over at all. Chiji leans in and playfully pokes his nose, teasing him for acting way too formal. With a grin, she adds her thanks as well, saying she's glad she finally got to see Amain's otaku side up close. Amain groans, her face turning red as she begs them to stop embarrassing her. Then, with a soft smile, she turns toward him and says, "Today was really fun. I should be the one thanking you." Her words hit him hard. Touched, he waves goodbye as the girls head out, his chest warm with the thought of just how genuinely happy this day made him. All they did was hang out. Yet somehow it meant more to him than he could ever put into words. As Ichijai walks away, she muses that for someone who just spent the day fooling around, he still went out of his way to thank them so sincerely. Something about that feels oddly charming. Meanwhile, Amain walks in silence, lost in thought. She realizes she can't even remember the last time she had this much fun, or felt so completely at ease while doing it. Maybe, just maybe, he's really not too bad after all.